And since the day the Vatican has announced the matrimonial concession, we've had 11.4% of the qualifying diocesan priest population making use of it. This other survey, taken just 10 business days ago, shows that of the remaining population, some 8 or 9% are considering betrothal to a potential spouse.
Oh, stop it, Father. Sounds like we're talking about bags of potatoes from breeding bulls.
Was there some other part of the monthly report you wanted to go over?
No. Well, yes, actually. The part it's not covering. One is tracking how these priests are doing. I'm assuming it's not all that good. We'll have to wait and see. Anything in there about how the parishioners are reacting to the new tithing guidelines?
Well, that's been on CNN even, Your Excellency.
Yeah. I know what they say. I'm not interested in Larry King's opinion. What's it showing about the weekly take? The weekly giving? That's what I wanted to say.
Well, initially there was a decline in the weekly giving. There were even some nasty notes put in the collection boxes. Things like a priest should get a job if he wanted to, that sort of thing. I don't know whether it's improved. I would have to talk with our accounting officer.
I'm feeling more than a little edgy about how everyone is reacting to this. Ability to sustain a viable financial infrastructure may be impacted by all this. I'm waiting for word from Cardinal Petrozetti, but I would have liked a little insight before I talk to him. I'm assuming it's not going to be good.
We did hire that public relations firm, Your Excellency.
Quiet. Don't even mention that. To yourself, that's the last thing I want. People talking about publicity firms and all that other crap. They're going to think this is a sham. A publicity campaign. An experiment that we're not committed to. Our credibility is not that strong. Image above all. We're still recovering from that other claims about, the nastiness. The last thing I want is to incite another Boston Archdiocese with everything but little boys and bogus rehabs.
We will need to get with our survey colleagues to let them know we want to collect that other reception data in the opinion survey.
You handle it quietly. I'll bring it up at the next staff meeting. Come in.
Pardon me, Your Excellency.
Oh, come on in, Alex.
Pardon me, sir. This came in for you a few minutes ago. It was labeled urgent.
Thank you, Alex.
Do you need anything else, Your Excellency?
No, not this time, young man.
Excuse me, then.
Very well, Your Excellency. Almost forgot. The prenuptial agreements. The fourth one from Esteban Claudio and Catherine Leitner.
Good. At least the church property will be protected against greedy little wives and nasty offspring.
And Jesus himself said so, Angela Durenberger. Priests are supposed to be single, eunuchs for the kingdom of God. No family, following his son's footsteps. Ye who forsake everything for the kingdom of heaven. This just cannot be right. God himself shall rise against this abomination. This heresy. It's disgusting, Angela Durenberger.
It's like this, Miss Torquemada.
Don't you get fresh with me, Angela Durenberger.
Look at the calendar. We're not in the Dark Ages anymore. At least not most of us. The Pope himself has said that...
Popes have committed heresy before, as much as I hate to admit it. What's to separate us from the Lutherans, the Methodists, the Baptists, for heaven's sakes? The Bible
Miss
itself!
Duffner, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave now. Reverend and Mrs. Claudio have just arrived. What in the world? Oh, don't mind her. Isn't it nice to be home? What other
odd members of the welcome wagon you have hiding back there?
Oh, don't mind her. She's just a martyr in training. A voice that howls and cries in my desert.
Charitable to the misguided.
Yes, Father. Well, don't just stand there in the dust from hygiene sandals. I hung the clothes in the closet as best I could. You'll probably want to organize them a little better.
She thinks I'm staying.
Don't get your hopes up. I told her to hang just enough clothes for the weekend. You'll see where things are when the warranty expires on you.
Good morning.
I didn't want to leave without saying goodbye and making you breakfast.
Leaving? What time is it?
7:30.
So early. I thought you were still on vacation.
I wish, but the sick won't wait.
Did you get up just to fix this for me?
You'll have to forgive me. Julia Child was not exactly required reading at seminary.
And to think you got out of our spacious bed to go downstairs and cook for me.
Not quite. I came back from Mass to cook it. Well, except the coffee. I made that before I stepped out.
Before Mass? Why didn't you wake me up? I would have
You didn't
gone.
look like you wanted to be disturbed.
Well, it was so early, and I kept you up so late.
Be worried when you can't keep me up.
When will you be home?
After I've seen the last sick person. I've got hospital rounds and visits to the homebound. I'll come home before my afternoon meetings. But then I have Rosary Society and a parish council meeting tonight. But I'll try to be home before dinner, okay?
When is the bishop's next meeting? I'm going to put in my plan for freeing up married priests. Drive-through confessions, drive-by anointings, and maybe even an ATM for indulgences.
She didn't mean it.
Stationery for Father. Oh, just a minute, Gil. Here she comes. Dr. Claudia?
Angela, please. Call me Catherine.
That's right, Catherine. How do you want your name on Father's stationery? I mean, would you prefer Reverend and Mrs. Esteban Claudio or Reverend Esteban and Dr. Catherine Claudio? I'm just not sure which is.
I guess I hadn't thought about it. Could I have some time?
Sure. Gil, I'll have to get back with you on that, okay, dear? Thanks. There is one other item that the Chancery called about while you were away. It's sort of a delicate situation.
What is it?
Well, the Chancery wants to know if you're employed and if you intend to continue working.
Why would that be of interest to the Chancery?
They have a particular question. It appears that no one has made any arrangements with the health insurance providers to cover the families of priests.
Oh, that's not a problem. I have coverage under my employer.
Good. That takes care of one part of the problem. I think what they really want to know is if your employer will also cover Father. They're trying to think ahead. You know, family plans. The Chancery's really not ready for that.
I don't think it'll be a problem. I'll look into it. See you in a bit. Oh, and my books and my computer, they're going to be delivered tomorrow.
To the spare room. I had the wiring checked while you were away. You're good. That comes from years of trying to stay 2 steps ahead of the church.
I'll remember that.
Pardon me, do you know where I can find a candle to light?
Did you try on the other side?
Yeah, I did. There was none over there.
I don't know where else to look. Oh, but don't worry, ma'am. Candles really aren't that important. I mean, well, they are, but not really that much. After all, Jesus never said anything about candles, did he? They look nice.
But they don't really add anything to the power of prayer. After all, God can see in the dark.
Did Angel ask you about the health insurance matter?
Oh, yes. I called my office and they said you better not get sick.
That shouldn't be a problem. I stay pretty healthy.
Good, because my HMO stands for Healthy Members Only.
I hope that's all right. I can pay you back the monthly deduction.
Oh, is that the way it's going to be in the Claudio household? My money is mine, your money is also mine. I am liking this. Who knew it was going to be so profitable to marry a priest?
Sorry, I'm not used to.
Oh, I am. From my previous marriage to the Archbishop. Oh no, that was to the Cardinal. But that was back when my name was Lucretia.
I just don't want you thinking I'm trying to take advantage of anything.
Oh, I will tell you. Trust me.
But did Angela mention the stationery too?
Yeah, I'm sure those things are important, but I'd rather leave it up to you or to her. She seems to know her way around.
You're the priest's wife now, so some things shouldn't be left up to her anymore.
Yes, honey, but I'd rather focus on the fun stuff, like dressing you and packing your lunchbox.
The thing is, when you leave work in the evening, your day's work's done. Mine never ends.
Scary.
I think everyone's keeping an eye on us.
To see how we manage?
For models of what the church preaches.
Oh, now you are really scaring me. You know, my St. Lucy costume is still at the cleaners.
Yeah, but when we step out now, we're no longer Father and Mrs. Claudio. We're the poster couple for what a Catholic marriage should be.
Well, Father Claudio, I'll be careful not to step on any cracks. Worked for my mother. Stop worrying.
I feel like we live in a glass house now. I'm not imagining it.
Well, just as long as we get to pull the drapes occasionally.
Hey, how about a toast?
Did you get some wine? I didn't see any.
You didn't look closely. When you live around here, you need to keep your eyes open. To our new life together, with the woman I adore.
To a perfect life with a perfect husband. Oh, good Lord! Where did you get this? The wedding at Cana? You actually drink this?
Every day, courageously.
Oh, tell me that consecration improves the vintage. Oh.
So the church feels the wife must play a subdued role in the parish. This is all very tentative, but initially we don't want to ruffle feathers, do we? We must make sure that our parishioners accept that new person by the priest's side. We don't want her at all functions, but we do want her at enough functions. We don't want her to be your co-pilot, if you will, but we do want her to be your flight attendant. You must remember that our parishes are firmly built upon traditions and the contributions of families that, in some cases, go back to the origins of the church in our communities. We cannot afford to alienate those people. But we also don't want wifey to feel as if she's just there to clean house. The church certainly does not want to convey the impression that she's just a decorative figure. However, we also don't want spouses thinking that they can speak for you or replace you. Do you think they got this clearly? Did we?
Ladies, our guest of honor was to be the new Mrs. Claudio, Mrs. Catherine Claudio, Reverend Claudio's wife. But we just simply cannot wait any longer, so we are going...
Oh, sorry. So sorry. Traffic was terrible. Please forgive me. I'm Catherine Lightner. Claudio. I guess you already know that.
Please.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Mrs. Claudio, we have reserved a place of honor for you here. If you will, do us the honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, let's determine quorum. Ladies, Mrs. Marino, if you please.
We're all here.
Read the minutes.
Minutes for the October monthly meeting of the Catholic Daughters of America, chapter of the parish of Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Lylesville. In attendance were Miss Gertrude Sunder presiding, Anita Moreno, recorder, Georgina Manera, Leticia Durenberger, Martha Burnside, Donna Macy, Alina Cortez, Agatha Kasprick, Imogene Duffner, Tula Montoya, and Clotilda McGregor. The regular monthly meeting was held in the meeting room of the parish hall starting at 7 in the evening. The items for discussion were: number 1, decorations for Thanksgiving church social. Number 2, upcoming third Sunday potluck. And number 3, election
No. Red is much too bold a color for a ceremony such as we have in mind. Now, of course, we need something that is elegant, more tasteful. And the dark blue that Elena suggested, and thank you, of course, Elena, is just too severe. Now, ladies, what we need is something in between those extremes. So that